Hey family, man. This is Anthony Grigsby, World Events Insurance, worldeventsga.com, San Joaquin Black Biz. On our Talk Tuesday show today, man, I got a wonderful guest, man, planned on for you guys. My brother Jenny Jones is what we call a serial entrepreneur. That brother gets down with a lot of things, but today, man, we're talking about him as being the financial evangelist. So we're gonna, man, dig deep and dirty as to what that really means, how his programs can help the community, help people in general, and just learn a lot of things from this brother, man. I love talking to him. Hey, let's bring him on, man. My man, Jenny Jones, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, man? I am doing well, and I appreciate you. Thank you, because I know you're a busy brother, but if you can find time to catch me, then I appreciate that. I appreciate you reaching out to me, man.
Hey, you know what, man? You know, great minds think alike, and this brother moves and shakes, and man, I got to put in a calendar, man, like months in advance just to say hi to him on text messages. This brother is doing his thing. I'm telling you. Hey, but man, so Jenny, man, so let's talk a little bit about. I know, man, you have the Black Business Podcast. I was featured on your first season. You're going to be having the second season. So you're really doing a lot of things. But what are you doing as far as your financial evangelist, man? A lot of our community need that kind of advice. Tell us what you have going on for them.
Well, my financial evangelist brand, that's the part of my brand that I'm always trying to educate and grow and empower, specifically our community and others, just on financial matters, right? So we've it's always been the stigma, but I think it's more people can connect with it a lot more now. It's not way up on the shelf anymore, right? Because it's funny, because when people think of Robin Hood, right? Oh, Robin Hood, yeah, it's no money for any trades, but you got to think, when I first got into business and trading stocks, I mean, we would make $50 per trade, and now you can trade stocks for 50 cents.
Yeah.
Right. And so I had to grow and develop and add other services. So I started adding education to my mixture when it comes to dealing in that network, in that area. And so just got a couple of projects going. I got some project at the lower end, the kind of entry level, kind of help people get started. But then I have some high end projects that I'm doing as well. But I love playing in that space.
That's cool, man. That's cool, man. So you talk about, education is a huge part of the financial literacy, not only in our community, but, communities as a whole. But here at San Joaquin Black Biz, we focus on our community, obviously. Tell us, man, go into a little detail about your low-end financial advice products, and then we'll talk about the other one as well. But let's start there first.
Well, so you may know, you may not know this, but I used to teach at Kids College for Delta College for some time there. I taught over at Hill College as well. And one of the courses I developed over there at the Kids College, I developed two courses, one for the kids. It was kids, the first kids, they had a little coloring book, and they would learn how to divide up their money and put it in different little baskets and stuff like that. And how when they got $1, the dollar really goes in 4 different buckets. And I used to do that a long time ago, and budget cuts, budget constraints and stuff, and then I ended up moving, down the road. And so I used to do that. And I tried to bring that to the online world a little bit, but I kind of struggle because I don't know if it was that much of a demand there. So I shifted, because I was teaching kids. I love teaching kids because they're the easiest to teach because they get it. Whereas we're older, we're kind of have these learned behaviors on what we should do with money. Whereas kids, if you can catch them at that age, they really get it. And I've had students come back to me saying, hey, you really taught me a lot. And I want to do more in that space. It's just that people are not paying for their students to go to that. So I had to kind of go where it was going to cover my cost to develop curriculum and information around that. So I did start the Jones Educational Academy, just trying to teach some basic stuff like, hey, here's what you do with your first check. Here's what you do with your first 401k. So I still do that, but the parents are not hitting me up. Right. In some of the other communities is when I really did well. I went to went up to Santa Rosa and did a lot of different workshops pre-COVID, and they would really pay me nicely to come up there to teach their students. But when I try to do that back home within our churches and stuff like that, it wasn't as successful. I don't know why. So that, I mean, I still do that. I mean, those are courses and classes that I write. But one of the things I started doing on the low end for retirees is I created a platform last year called Retirement Chat, right? Where people could not really afford to sit down with an investment advisor or retirement advisor, registered advisor like myself, which we charge anywhere between $150 to $250 an hour. I created Retirement Chat just in case if people had really basic questions just to ask, hey, I got all this stuff. It showed up in the mail. What does this mean? What does that mean? And that runs about, $47 a month, but I have it discounted down now for a limited time, 50% off for that. And that's lifetime. So it's normally $47 for one chat a month, but I have it discounted down 50% on that. So that's at retirementchat.com. And then, so yeah, that's what I have. That's an entry level that allows you access to a professional, someone like myself who's been in the business 20 plus years, and you have all these retirement questions you kind of just want to know. So that was something that I created. So
okay, that sounds good, man. So that's retirementchat.com. You guys, he's offering 50% off. It's usually $47 a month, so we get 50% off that to call up a professional and ask a retirement question. Hey, now that goes a long way. People don't understand. People will ask their uncle, their cousin, their booby down the street. Man, what do I do, man? What's man? I got this check, but you don't want to go to a financial advisor that's educated in this product. So you guys, man, hit my man up, the retirementchat.com. Find out what it takes to just start developing your wealth, and your assets. We want to leave our family benefits, not bills. Leave our family benefits, not bills.
I don't know when we're going to get that, man. I don't. I think a lot of that is it's a learned behavior in our community. When I started in this business in '99 selling insurance, and of course I know you sell insurance, and everybody wants to take on the risk like they're big and bad and versus transferring the risk like the insurance company's getting over on them. The insurance company's like, listen, hey, you want to transfer that risk to us? We'll take it for you for a small percentage. I mean, for a little small fee every month, because you don't know, tomorrow could be the last day, Tiger Woods and his accident and stuff like that. You never know, right?
Never know. Yeah.
That's a bad example, but
that's an example. You just never know.
It is an example. Yeah.
Hey, so for those people that are kind of a little more movers and shakers, because like I said, you an educated brother and you have the whole spectrum. You can do the entire gamut. So for those that are a little more seasoned in investing and want to make some moves on some other things, you have a more in-depth product as well, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you know me, man. I'm always doing some things. I love growing people, educating people, moving them to the next level. And I developed 2 more services this year because I want to know and try to meet the people and their needs where they're at. One of them was I created the side hustle retirement plan. The side hustle retirement plan is one that it kind of transitions people from a normal working 9 to 5, and it shows them how to develop their businesses and how to grow it and how to scale it. Right. So that's something, and I take them through a full-blown course, teach them marketing, teach them how to put a plan together, teach them about Facebook advertising, all of that. I take them soup to nuts all the way. They want to write a book, they want to get trademarked, I do all of that because I've done all of that. Right. And so I just put that in its own course, and I take people that, hey, I'm not going to be able to retire. It looks like I'm gonna have to do a side gig. I want to get into consulting and all that. I kind of transition them to that. That's the side hustle retirement plan. The side hustle retirement plan is the sidehustleretirementplan.com. That's what that is. So that's the mid-level. So we had the lower level, which is the retirement chat. We had the mid-level, which is the side hustle retirement plan. And then the next thing I created was on the high end, which is the Financial Evangelist accredited TV channel, right? And so that's high end. I mean, that's going to probably run around anywhere between $150 to $250 a month just to be a part of that. And what that does is it brings all the investment opportunities that they don't like. Listen, get in it out. I don't want to have to learn how to invest in real estate. I just want to be a part of it when it happens, right? And so what that's going to do is it's going to bring syndication deals, where we call it syndication, is where we collect the monies from the masses. So say 100 people want to get in, they want to put in 100 grand or whatever. We then go look at it, purchase an investment property, maybe 30, 40 doors of rental properties, maybe commercial properties, things like that. But we go in and we make them limited partners, and we go in as a general partner at the top end, and we cash them out, or we pay them an annual, we pay them a quarterly dividend or something like that. That way they're in on a high end, and it's going to have other opportunities on there where you can get returns. There's no guarantees, right, in investments, but you can make anywhere between 12 to 14%, sometimes as high as 20%. And some of the things I'm going to bring to that platform, and that'll be available on ITV, Apple TV, Roku box, Amazon Fire Stick. That's a whole nother level. That's why it costs a little bit more to get into that. But we're going to bring some real investment opportunities with professionals, and you get a full breakout of what's going to happen, where your money's going to go, and all that. That's a whole nother level, but that's high end. You need to be accredited investors to get into that, make over 100K, and or are very familiar with investing, which qualifies you to become a accredited investor.
That's what's up, man. Hey, I like that that's a lot, man. That's a big move right there, man. But what you guys are failing to hear is not only is my brother putting together a nice financial vehicle for high-end users, but he's also utilizing Apple TV and Roku TV, creating his own TV channel. That's doing big things, man. You guys just have to recognize that's doing some big things.
He said that's doing big things. What I realize, if you don't mind me interjecting here really quick, is there's people who, hey, I want to start a business, right? And if you start a business, let's say I'm baking cookies, right? I now become the business, right? So now I can't do anything else. I can't take a vacation. I can't go here, because anybody that knows, as an entrepreneur, business person, you need to relax your mind out of the grind, occasionally, right? And so you want to take time away. You need to develop systems that'll work for you while you're gone, right? Or while you're on vacation, right? My wife and I took a vacation to Hawaii a couple of years ago. I took my laptop. Obviously, if I got a laptop and a cell phone, I'm in business, right? And because of the time zones, she would still be asleep. I would get up, conduct business, send a few emails or whatever. By the time she woke up, she was ready to go play by the beach or whatever. But I already did my business. I already did the things I needed to do, because I'm setting up systems, right? So if you're going to scale, you need to have systems. By me putting my platform on autopilot, whether I'm putting it on a TV channel or what have you, the system's going to sell itself. All the things it's going to need to do, they're going to be able to do on their own. I don't need to be there. And that positions me to leave a legacy too. So when I'm gone, my kids will be like, yeah, we can subscribe here, and they'll still be able to get my content from here on out. And that's the way we need to be thinking. And I don't know why we're not getting it. If we're going to play the game right. This is chess, not checkers.
Hey, you really touched on a very good topic, and people need to learn that. And this is a brother you can learn that from. You just described the definition between a self-employed individual and a business owner. Two different things. Self-employed, like you said, if we stop working, that business stops working. We're constantly having to stay on the grind. So not only can we not take opportunities to scale our business because we're so focused on the daily grind of our business, we can't really grow. So we really have to learn the difference between a self-employed individual and a business owner. Now, I'm still working on scaling to get my business where it can function on its own, but it really does pretty good. Like, for example, last night, I popped up my email and 5 policies sold overnight I don't have to touch them. You know, so those things come through because I set my website up to where it can sell policies, generate the certificates. I don't have to touch it. All I got to do on the back end, make sure I key it into my QuickBooks, and I'm good to go. But I never have to even touch the client. The email already goes to the client saying that, hey, thank you for your service. Here's your product. We're good to go. They don't have to know who Anthony Grigsby is at all.
That's the way you should say. That's the way, you know, we got a lot of people, we got a lot of entrepreneurs out there. I'm not mad at them, I'm not hating them, but I've been in this game a long time. And you can't get in the game trying to be month to month. You have to be a vision. You have to be a visionary in the game. You have to understand and know what you have to do. And that's why I've created the side hustle retirement plan, is because a lot of people, they've been employees for so long, they don't know what it takes to actually run, scale, and grow a business. And that once I got in that sweet spot, started writing classes and courses and curriculum around that, that's changing the game right now. Because a lot of people's like, man, I supposed to do this? I'm supposed to do that? No, you set that up to do this, and you set that up to automatically do that. And one of the things that I learned is a lot of people go into business and be like, oh, this is just going to be me, like John Smith. No, it's going to be Smith Limited Liability Corporation, or, you know, or you use your initials, right? You use your initials, or you use the initials of your kids, right? LMAK LLC, right? I'm gonna drop this serious nugget on you. The reason why you use initials or use something that's inconspicuous is because when people go and start trying to sue you, they can't find you right away. You have a veil there, right? Boy, I just dropped that nugget there, man. And I learned that because I'm always getting educated. I'm in school right now. You know, I have 2 master's degrees. I have 2 undergrad degrees, but I'm always educating myself, trying to become smarter, trying to figure out the game. So that's one of the things you do. You create an LLC, but you don't name it after yourself. You don't name it Jenny Jones Incorporated, because as soon as they hire an attorney, they come after you. First thing they're going to look up as Jenny Jones Incorporated LLC. Now they can find me, right? Man, I'm telling you, man, but I had to learn that, right?
Hey, so while you're real quick, before we let you go, while you're talking on names and naming and things like that, earlier you mentioned a little bit about trademarking. Touch base a little bit on that, because I know you've done it. Trademarking is important. You know, we're out there building a business, you know, and next thing you know, we get a cease and desist letter saying, hey, you own this is my name. You using my name to my business. Stop using it right now. And I've already developed my business with this name. Now I got to go change it because I didn't save it. Talk about that real quick.
Real quick. I mean, I don't know if you're picking on me because that happened to me, right? And well, it didn't. I own 4 trademarks, right? But one of the trademarks I had, it was already going to go public. So once you develop a trade, it takes about 8 to 12 months to get a trademark all the way through and all the way published and get your certificate and all that. It takes a little while, right? So that goes to this last thing. It's called the gazelle. So once the gazelle is a 30-day period. So once you do all the paperwork with the trademark office, it gets to the gazelle. They say, hey, your information is going to the gazelle. The gazelle is the end all be all for all trademarks that are coming to market, and attorneys are looking through it day and night when it comes out. So you have to get through that last window. Like if you're playing football, you get it within the 20. You're trying to get it to the touchdown. Once you get within the 20, you got to be hoping and praying that nobody finds your trademark that you did all the work for, and that you don't think nobody else is using, because you've been putting it out there, and it gets there, and then you get an opposition letter. They say, hey, we cannot publish your trademark because such and such is challenging your trademark. You're like, what? Where did that come from? And that's what happened to the financial evangelist, right? I was using it. Nobody was even using it. And here's the thing, and I'll just throw this in here. I would throw this in here for free. So, and I'm glad people look at your podcast because they never know what they might pick up. Do you know you have to be using your trademark before you even publish it? A lot of people don't know that, because what you need to prove to them is that you are using it. It has to be in what they call commerce. It has to be in circulation. But if you've done your due diligence, you already know it doesn't exist. I'm putting in my paperwork. I really didn't start using mine until I got the paperwork in. Once you get the paperwork in, is a date, it's a stamp on it. Then you go bananas promoting it, putting it out there and all that, because if somebody tries to come along after that, then they have a little bit more challenge. But it takes about 4 to 6 months for the paperwork to catch up, for them to say, all right, where you been using it at? Well, you've already been pumping it out there for 4 to 6 months. You say, boom, here it is right here. Here's my website. I got a logo and all that. That I'm telling, but that is a tricky part, because you don't really want to put it out there, right? For somebody to steal it. So it's really, let me get my paperwork in, submit. And it's all right, we received it. Then you just start pumping it. That's a time, it's a window. And that happened to me, and I ended up having to go to court. Cost me several $1,000s to protect the financial evangelist, because I had some people coming around saying, oh, well, we're the financial planning evangelists. It's like, what? And I had to go to court with them. And we actually won, because I proved I was putting my stuff out, and people was like, oh man, we've been knowing Jay been a financial evangelist, man, for 15, 20 years. And that saved me, right? And so anyway, so I just want to thank you for asking me, but that helps somebody. That helps somebody.
And we hope that helps somebody for sure. Hey, man,
people will, really quick, people will steal your stuff if they see you got a nice movement. Let's say you have an Instagram channel and you got 1 million followers. I'm just being, but your name is not trademarked. Someone will go behind you, trademark your name, and try to sell it back to you, or give you a cease and desist and try to take your IG tag. Man, and people do that.
You know what? I will attest to that. Somebody tried to sell me some website URLs that were close to my name.
Yeah,
but not mine. But they're like, hey, you got to get these too. I was like, yo, yeah, okay, man. I'm good. Thank you, though. Yeah, but you're right. You're right.
It's a cold game out there, man. It's a cold game.
Hey, man. Hey, but I really, man, want to thank you for coming on to the show and dropping nuggets on us, man. I love talking to you. You guys have probably seen Jenny and I, tay-to-tay a little bit on a couple of other programs. But this brother is always somebody, that I want to get involved and want to listen to. And so, man, real quick, Jenny, man, I'll have the information in the description below, but drop them a couple of ways to get a hold of you.
A couple of ways to get a hold of me. I don't really, I do IG, but that's a grind, man. I don't, that's a grind, man. retirementchat.com is one. Like I said, the the side hustle retirement plan. You can find me there, or you can find me at thefinancialevangelist.com. You can find me at any one of those channels. And I either have a robot or a chat that's going to be able to reach out to you. You can be able to connect me from there, or you can find me at the Black Business Podcast. You'll be able to find me there as well. Started that because I want us to grow, man. I want all of us to be able to get it. So I appreciate you. Before we go, man, I just want to say thank you. I've been knowing you for a long time, and you've been consistent. That's what I will say about you, and that's what I appreciate about you. You've never changed. You've always been consistent, definitely with me. So, and I appreciate you, and thank you for always including me in some of the things that you're doing. So I really do appreciate that, my brother. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Hey, this is Anthony Grigsby, man, World Events Insurance, worldeventsga.com, also founder of San Joaquin Black Biz. This was my Talk Tuesday with my man, Jenny Jones, a financial evangelist. Hey, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget to like and subscribe that button down below. Catch our videos coming out. We'll see you next time on that grind out there. Hey, shop Black Stockton. Peace.